crisis, said that the solution would be to provide incentives for the private sector to create more jobs. President Obama has repeated each and every year that that is his program as well. We have indeed provided incentives to private sector, and we have provided inducements. They have thanked the government for the incentives and inducements, taken them, and not hired anybody. And that continues to be the policy. The reason I mention this is I'm happy to tell you, or not really happy, to tell you that last week, the senators of the United States, led by the Democrats, went through the following exercise. They supported a bill to spend $60 billion to hire people to rebuild crumbling U.S. roads, bridges, and mass transit systems. $60 billion. That isn't small, that's teeny, but it's something. And they forced a vote. And in order to win, you have to get 60 votes in the U.S. Senate because you have to defeat the ability of the other party to filibuster and so on. And unfortunately, last Thursday when the vote was held, they only got 51 votes. So they couldn't break the GOP's opposition. And here was the issue. The Republicans said, with great intensity, that they wanted to know how the $60 billion would be raised to help hire unemployed people. And the Democratic bill had an answer. It was going to impose a 0.7% surtax. Now that's not zero, but it's getting there. A 0.7% surtax on incomes over $1 million per year. Okay, let's do that again. People earning over 1 million, I won't ask you to raise your hand, per year, are going to be required to pay an extra 0.7%. And on the basis of that outrage, which would have cost, I'm an economist, so I do numbers. I don't really, but to please my colleagues and to try to stay in the club, I do this. The jobs bill, this jobs bill, if it had passed, would have meant a new tax bill for the 350,000 taxpayers in America who average 2.9 million. That's all the people who get more than $1 million a year. Their average, the 350,000 who earn that much, is they get 2.9 million a year. So I did the math, and they would have had to pay $13,500 extra out of the 2.9 million they earned. On the basis of this outrage, the Republicans prevented that bill. I don't want you to applaud, but I want you to see that's called democracy in action. If you ever needed an example that the political structure responds in our country to a very small part of the population and serves its needs, we are not going to spend $60 billion on hiring thousands of unemployed, because it would have cost the people who earn an average of $2.9 million a year an extra $13,500.